And that's what this book, let us say, allows us to do. So very quickly, right? It mentions a convention, and it mentions an executive council, okay? The international president, and her name presently is Miss Emma Young, okay? So the international president is the chairperson of the executive council. The executive council is elected annually at a convention. So these are terms that, in order to be effective, we will have to become totally familiar with. And then it becomes second nature. Because there's a history behind this book, and we will find time as we go along to go into the history. But tonight, we're actually just looking at the mechanism. All right. So the mechanism says membership comprised the black peoples of the world, and that the black peoples of the world have an executive council. And that executive council has a chairwoman, chairwoman. And by that procedure, the government of the black race speaks. Now, it's important for us to know that these facts are law and they are respected at the highest levels of government. Why can we say that? The Ethiopian World Federation is a member of the United Nations, so that the documents of the Ethiopian World Federation have been presented at the highest levels of government and has received government's seal of approval. So governments are not threatened by what we do, because we are a non-governmental organization that's really designed to supplement what governments do, because government always has a budget, and that budget can only do so much, and there's much more to be done. So unless the citizens are mobilized to assist in that regard, well, growth will be, as they say, retarded, and development will be too slow for the people's benefit. All right? So in that regard, the Ethiopian World Federation and the procedure of black peoples of the world speaking through one voice is certified at the highest levels of government, okay? So we shall move on now where we say now the conventions, right? They are held annually. And in the book, July 16th is identified as Convention Day each year. And also July 16th has been known as Constitution Day previously in Ethiopia. So that there is some connection between Ethiopia and the Ethiopian World Federation that is quite unique. And we will find time also to go into that relationship, unique. Right? But right now we're looking at the international president, that single voice that speaks for the black race by law. And the mechanism that is utilized to produce such a representative, okay? So that the mechanism is the convention annually, okay? So now, conventions are run by delegates. So in the Constitution, it mentions delegates. How does one get credentialed to be a delegate? Okay, so all those things will be dealt with also, right? But for right now, just to comprehend, conventions are run by delegates. Now, many people will attend the convention, but only the delegates will vote. And sometimes the people are even restricted from participating in any debate, while sometimes the people are encouraged to participate in the debate. It's just that when there is time to vote, they will not vote, because they are not delegates. Only the delegates will vote. All right, so we would have to determine which one of those methods suits our purpose, all right? Because it's all about purpose, and we will get into that too, right? All right, so then, these delegates, after they are credentialed and identified, they do what delegates do. They nominate, they vote, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, they, by their vote, produce an executive council, all right? It can be called various names in the corporate arena, and the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated is in the corporate arena. So then it can be called the board of directors, the board of managers, the executive board, the trustee board, many names. But our constitution refers to that board as the executive council. Okay. So in this book, there's only one executive council. There's not two. There's only one executive council. Okay. But there are many committees, many committees, and we shall go into that also. But there's only one executive council. All right. So who and what comprises the executive council? All right. Article 3, international officers. There shall be the following international officers of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated. And then it goes from A to G, which is 7. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7. President, first vice president, second vice president, executive secretary, treasurer, organizer, chaplain. But remember now, they are international officers. Okay? So, although they are referred to here, we would say affectionately, as president, first vice president, second vice president, executive secretary, treasurer, organizer, chaplain. Later on in the Constitution, they are referred to by their full name, international president, and so on and so forth. Okay. So, this executive council comprises 7 international officers, okay? And they have titles, and each title is assigned a duty. We already read the duty of the international president. He shall sign all legal documents and be chairman of the International Executive Council. So there goes that single vice representing the race again. Signature. Not 2, 1. One signature in this book represents we, the black people of the world. That's marvelous, you know. That's really unity. You see how long it took me to use that word? Unity. So then, 7 international officers. And we could read their duties, but I think you would really, just by their title, you would already kind of understand what their duties are, called presidents, secretaries, treasurers, chaplains, organizers. It kind of tells you what they do. And it's defined, and we can find time to go into it in more detail, right? But Section 4 says, the Executive Council of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated shall instruct locals from time to time on matters not herein mentioned, meaning not mentioned in the Constitution. All questions of procedure not specifically mentioned in this Constitution shall be governed by Robert's Manual of Parliamentary Procedure. Now that's very important for us to know. Robert's Rules of Order, and always the most current edition, right? It has been revised many times, and I know that the 10th revision is what's available today. There's no 11th, there's 9th, there's 8th, and so on and so forth. The 10th is the most current one. And by what our Constitution just says a while ago, from time to time, the Executive Council will find it necessary to instruct locals on how things are done and accomplished. And if it is not fully explained in the Constitution, then we shall refer to Robert's Rules of Order to really get a, let us say, a clarification, a full explanation, yes, of what it is we are trying to determine.